Welcome to another episode or session of Art and Prayer as we use contemplative prayer inspired by art and scripture to draw ourselves closer to God. I am Pastor Rob McPherson, and I am so glad that you have come to participate in this time of prayer. Before we come to our time of prayer, a little reflection. Today we're going to be looking at a scene of the Nativity, one of the scenes showing Jesus newly born. And as I reflect upon the many ways that I have seen that put into artwork, they generally fall into two types. Those with visitors who have come to see Jesus, and those that attempt to capture a quiet moment with the Holy Family. Now, I know, and you know, that living with a newborn is not always the epitome of restfulness. But these second depictions of just the family do tend to suggest a peace, as if the song Silent Night is being brought into a moment of reality. But both the types of nativity scenes, those with visitors and those showing a moment of peace with the Holy Family, have the same purpose, I think. I think they are there to invite us to worship. In the busier scenes with the shepherds and the magi, we're shown examples of people who are worshiping Christ, and we're invited then to join in that. In the more intimate scenes, all the distractions are stripped away, and we're invited for ourselves to focus on what is the most important and what is central, Christ. And we ourselves become the visitors who, in sort of a way, we're crossing the fourth wall there. We're the ones who are there to see Christ. Rather than witnessing others coming to worship him, we're the worshipers. We are the ones who have run to see. We're the witnesses to the miracle, and we're invited to respond by worshiping. I say that because sometimes we don't equate prayer and worship, because prayer is many things. It's asking for help, it's talking to God, it's listening. But there is also in prayer the times of praise and adoration, and yes, worship. Our painting today, as I said, is one of those intimate moments with the Holy Family. There's no shepherds, no magi. The painter, Joseph Mulamba-Mandangi from the Congo, invites us to be the worshipers in this simple nativity scene. Singer and songwriter Todd Smith grew up in the Congo, and as part of the band Selah, they have a song that translated, it's actually written in the language, one of the languages of the Congo, but translated it says, "Noel, Noel, Jesus has come to live with us. If you want to know the child, you have to come kneel." I think that's a fitting invitation for us to begin our time of prayer today. So let us bow our hearts and minds as we are guests of the Holy Family. Open your heart to the occasion, and let us listen together to the words of Scripture as an invitation to be with Mary and Joseph and Jesus for a time. Our Scripture today is from Luke chapter 2, verses 6 and 7. While they were there, the time came for Mary to have her baby. She gave birth to her firstborn child, a son, wrapped him snugly, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the guest room. Let us open the door to that scene as we look at the painting. What do you notice first? The bright central part of the painting? That's probably where the artist wants us to look. The light draws us there, to the star which points to Christ, its lines of light extending to all three of the Holy Family. Look at Jesus, wrapped in a colorful cloth, placed in a pile of grass or straw, his head surrounded by the bright aura of one who will be called the light of the world. Mary and Joseph frame him. Both are on their knees. Mary looks as though she has just laid him in the manger, her arms not returned to their relaxed position. Rather than the traditional European robe, Mary wears clothes more befitting an African setting, vibrantly patterned and flowing from head to foot. Joseph wears a stole, often a symbol of education and learning, but perhaps here representing his priestly family. As we move further from the center to the edges, the color fades. The elements of the stable are here, the backdrop to the scene. The donkey pushing its head through the bamboo supports to get a better look. A couple of lambs also watch on. Take a moment and kneel in this place. Join Mary and Joseph on your knees before Jesus. Be humble before him. Let your eye take in the whole scene. As you are present in this place with Christ, what words of praise and adoration do you wish to share? Let us listen again to our scripture passage. As you listen, pay attention to what God may be saying to you. Are there words or phrases that speak to you? Are there ideas or thoughts that come to mind as you listen? While they were there, the time came for Mary to have her baby. She gave birth to her firstborn child, a son, wrapped him snugly, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the guest room. We often think of worship as being from us to God. But what might God be saying to you in this moment of worship? Look again at the painting. What does God want you to see? What does God want you to know? What does God want you to hear? Listen and look. Pray about what God is asking you to see, to know, or to hear. Speak your heart. To Christ, to God. God hears your prayers. Consider God's response to your prayer. What does God have to say to you? If you need more time, pause the video. Otherwise, wrap up your conversation with God. bring the messages and stillness with you as you leave the stable. Come back to this time and this place. It is always a joy to kneel in the presence of Christ, and I'm glad that we were able to do that together today. May the conversation you had with God in this time continue to feed your spirit. I recommend to you the song by Selah and Noel on their album Rose of Bethlehem. It is in the Kituba language of the Congo, and I'm thankful to Victoria Emily Jones for pointing out the song in her devotion in her blog on art and theology. The song will get your toes tapping in praise and may help you to see even a different angle in the painting. So perhaps you'll want to come back and look at the painting some more after listening to the song. Again, thank you for being present with me in this time of prayer. Peace, my friends, until next week.